Rolls-Royce have just revealed their new electric Spectre. This is meant to be the top of the range electric vehicle. Frankly though, there's probably 3 different car manufacturers in North America right now making vehicles that are more luxurious, better equipped, and actually worth paying this kind of money for. Rolls-Royce, I think this vehicle is shockingly bad for the price. In fact, unbelievably bad for the price. But hey, let's have a look at the details and you let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking, great to see you. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome back everyone else, thanks for joining in. Thanks for becoming a part of the electric vehicle revolution. It's coming. The revolution has just hit India, which was kind of like, I wouldn't say the last frontier, but I mean, it's a country of 1.4 billion people. Finally, the Indian government has said, yep, EVs are the future, and they've started to change their rules. That's kind of a that's going to make a big dent on the world's transition away from fossil fuels to electricity, EVs, and renewable energy. Now, Rolls-Royce, do they play a part in that? In my view, not really. Mercedes-Benz view? Yeah, they do. Mercedes-Benz's CEO believes that luxury car buyers are driving the electric vehicle revolution. Yeah, obviously the dude hasn't been to China, where, 60% of the world's EVs are sold. Most of them, not exactly luxurious. They're good, but I wouldn't call them luxury. Now, even though Rolls-Royce announced its intention to produce an electric vehicle more than a decade ago, seriously, more than a decade ago, it's taken them until today to finally reveal what their new EV would look like. But the thing is, right, they said they'd make one over a decade ago, but it's not actually going to come out until 2024 or 2025. I mean, that's like 12 to 14 years. Who owns Rolls-Royce? Well, I should point out it's BMW. Now, even though this vehicle looks like the Wraith Coupe, it actually is a completely different vehicle, say BMW. The new Spectre is built on Rolls' all-aluminium architecture of luxury. The automaker's latest platform that was designed to take both internal combustion engine and fully electric powertrains. In other words, it's another compromise. Come on. Where can you see any other automaker in the world making vehicles on the same platform using gasoline-powered vehicles and electric ones where it's not a compromise? They're always a compromise. So is this true luxury? Well, it's not getting off to a good start here in my view. Now, Rolls-Royce could have cut costs by borrowing a platform from BMW. I think that would have been a better solution. However, Rolls-Royce themselves said they didn't want to sell a repackaged BMW i7, which is why it has shifted all its models, EV included, to its own chassis and architecture. Now, maybe the BMW i7 platform would have been better than this. I don't know. Possible, considering the numbers here are pretty underwhelming for a super expensive luxury car. Now, this 2-door vehicle measures nearly 5.5 meters long. It's pretty big. 5,453 millimeters long, which is 214.7 inches, 2,080 millimeters wide, which is 82 inches in width, and 1,559 millimeters high, which is 61.4 inches tall. It's a massive vehicle. Now, clearly the front fascia is dominated by Rolls-Royce's kind of traditional grille, and you can instantly tell this is a Rolls-Royce when you see it. Well, that's if you know what Rolls-Royces are anyway. Now, the headlights do look a little bit like the headlights on the BMW X7 and the i7. But in general, I've got to say, this does look like a luxury car on the outside, and I think it does on the inside as well. But it's when you actually start to look at the numbers that things don't add up. Now, Rolls-Royce calls the battery pack, which is located in the floor of the vehicle, as it is in every EV, almost 700 kilos of sound deadening, reinforcing the fact that the experience of traveling aboard the Spectre will be as devoid of exterior noise as in any of the brand's other vehicles. Now, obviously, this will be clearly Rolls-Royce's quietest vehicle that they've ever made. Now, apparently, Rolls-Royce actually did more than 2.5 million kilometers in the prototypes of this car to make sure it's, well, luxurious and you don't hear any road noise. Now, the battery pack is 110 kilowatt hour in size. It's a lithium ternary battery, I believe nickel-based chemistry. However, this massive vehicle will only do 260 miles of range. That's total, 260 miles of range. Doesn't matter which model you get, that's the maximum. Now, I guess this makes sense. This is a hugely heavy and very, very big car. But still, would you be willing to pay $500,000 for a vehicle with 260 miles of range? Now, I know range isn't everything. It's not the be-all and end-all. But seriously, $500,000 for a vehicle with 260 miles of range, it just doesn't add up in my opinion. I think you'd be much better off with a Lucid, Tesla Model S, maybe even a Rivian pickup truck. They're all better vehicles in my opinion. Now, what about power? Well, power's decent, but it's certainly not leading. 577 horsepower and 664 pound-feet of torque, which is 900 newton meters of torque. It's a decent amount, but there's plenty of EVs with more torque than that. However, because it weighs 3,000 kilos, which is 8,560 pounds, it still does 0 to 62 miles an hour in 4.4 seconds, which is 0 to 100. And top speed is 155 miles an hour, which is 250 kilometers an hour. Now, clearly, that's a fair bit of power, but there's plenty of other vehicles with those power numbers. In fact, there's plenty of vehicles with more power and torque than that available already now. In fact, you can actually get cars in China for $40,000 with those power and torque figures today. In fact, those cars in China, they're, not quite as big, but they'll give you an additional minimum 100 miles of range for, you guessed it, around $40,000. Now, of course, I'm not trying to say those Chinese cars for $40,000 are better cars. I'm convinced they wouldn't be. But my point is here, you're paying $500,000. Are you getting $500,000 worth of car? Not even close. Now, you can order a Rolls-Royce Spectre right now. Price tag is $400,000 in the United States, meaning it's going to cost probably close to $800,000 here in Australia. In Europe, about €500,000. Apparently, deliveries will begin before the end of 2023. And Rolls-Royce plans to become fully electric by 2030. I mean, that's if they're still around. Now, personally, even if I won the lottery and I had $100 million, this is not a vehicle that would even register remotely on my wish list. I can't understand why anyone would want this car. But hey, I think the same way about current Rolls-Royce gasoline-powered cars, and I have for years. And clearly there's a very small number of people who just don't care. They just want to spend the money. It's there, and so they do. And those people will probably continue to buy these cars. You've got to ask yourself the question, when there's other luxury EVs with double the range of this vehicle, by the time it comes out at the end of next year, is this really the car you'd want? Personally, I'd much prefer the new Cadillac Celestiq. That thing actually is luxurious. It's different. It's unique. It has a lot more range. And it's actually quite a bit cheaper, which is crazy. So let me know what your thoughts are. If you were going to go out and buy a luxury electric vehicle, what would you get? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.